Okay, so we're gonna go off here, off of the YouTube thing here. So we're go ahead and talk that. And okay, we're gonna go ahead and go to YouTube Studios and go ahead and delete that from the YouTube thing. Now, there was a huge thing with the Epstein Files. Um, that really just absolutely will scare the DC elites. Honestly, I think it will because a Democrat was just arrested. Don't know what Democratic politician got because this politician got arrested for texting Jeffrey Epstein. And they voted on whether to release him or not to release him. So it passed. So um, a Democratic member of the party is in deep shit right now. Um, very in deep shit. Um, I think that you have to really ask yourself, why do people do some really shady, grotesque shit? And you gotta think, you gotta really think. I mean, like seriously think. And I mean, power corrupts absolute. Greed corrupts absolute. Greed, power, all that shit. You gotta sit down and think. Why? You do your research. You go down the rabbit hole in places where your mind don't want to be. And it is terrifying. It is very terrifying on all levels because as a society here, we do not know. We do not know. We absolutely do not know where we are going. Don't don't because we're divided. It's like a windshield, right? A windshield, right? And when you crack a windshield, it splinters like a web, like a web. Different. And the more it cracks, the more it splinters in different directions and different, all that shit. Um, you don't know where you're going, right? You're on this web of roads where you're going socially, politically, economically, financially, all that shit, including emotionally, mentally. Where are you going? Um, so you really ask those questions on where are we going these days, socially, economically, financially, politically, religiously. We don't know. Nobody knows. We're being tested every day. We're being completely tested every fucking day. We are being tested, constantly tested. I know that seriously, I think that when you realize that there's some will think, well, there's nothing we can do about it. Others think, well, there are some things that we can do about it, but how do we go on about dealing with it? I've been thinking about the whole Epstein ties to Mossad, ties to Israel, and all that shit. Um, and I know that it's going to be controversial, and I know for a fact that I'll be getting a lot of comments, which I don't care. I mean, it's your opinion. It's your thoughts on that. You know, um, we all need to really stop and think about why and why. Why is he talking about this? Why is he bring this up? Because there are individuals that are too afraid. They're too afraid even to even talk about it. Afraid to even mention it. Afraid to even have a conversation. They're afraid of if they talk about it or bring it up or mention it, they're afraid of getting judged, getting attacked, getting, you know, uh, probably be gone in a very sincere way. I think that when you look at the Epstein files, there are a lot of names on that list. A few years ago, there were names on a list revealed, and it was a 4 or 5 page list of names of celebrities, media, sports, TV, movies, you name it, the whole thing. Finance, banking, all that shit. On a list. Um, Christopher Wallace, formerly of Fox News, now with CNN. Him and his dad were on the Lolita Express to Epstein Island. And you have who's who of who's who, and you have who's who of who's who. You know what I'm saying? And let's see here. I want to. I mean it. You have the who's who of who's who, and um, I think that there's been enough bullshit, not enough bullshit. And we got to ask yourself the question here, like, why would they do this to people, young people, especially, politicians, elites, people who been doing this for years, decades, for a long time, and um, one name I'm gonna mention was a victim, have been seen in nearly 43 years. 1982, we're in what, 2025, 43 years. If Johnny Gosh is alive today, and he is alive, maybe, hopefully, he'd be 55. He'd be 55. He would be 55. About 56, he'll be about, what, 57? Right? 50 what? No, 50, 69, so he'll be about 56. And there's been a lot of this scandal happening even when Reagan was in office. You know, you know, you have Michael Aquino, a known devil worshipping pedophile. When the Presidio was still running, now it's a museum now. Um, the Conspiracy Files did a story on devil worshipping in the military. Um, the Presidio. They had a daycare. They're running a daycare in the Presidio for military families, whose kids were still little, and above it was files and files of people, kids, teachers, all that shit like that. And the one running it was Michael Aquino, a known pedophile Satanist. You who's still alive today. Now you look at what 45 years later, we're looking at hopefully what's on that list, what's on those files, right? And any chance of seeing the files, I could probably get you right now that most of them are redacted, blacked out. Why? To protect them, to protect the who's who, right? Um, if Bill and Hillary's name is on that list, shit, they could be, they could look at life, if you look at Bill Clinton's not looking too good, man. That guy looks like he got crushed by a wall and a I don't know. But there's names on those lists. I'm like, what's on the file? Because right now those files are beginning. Hey, kiddo, how you man? What's up, kiddo? What's up? What up? What up? What up? Um, it's really scary because the thing is, you have these who's who on that on the Epstein Files, right? Who's done sick things to people, even young people, Um, I took some time off yesterday because I was like really rough today. Yesterday, I had a cold. I was like really rough yesterday, so I needed some rest and you know just want to get better. Um, yeah, I mean it's just that DC politics is dividing us like a crack in the windshield, right? Dividing us like a crack in the windshield. I might go and come back, right? Sure, man. Yeah, right, sure. Um, yeah, politics is dividing us like a cracked windshield. The crack is still spreading, and there's a lot of distraction too. There's a lot of distractions to distract us from what's really, you know. I mean, right, peace. Um, it's like the right hand is distracting us, while the right hand is destroying evidence of what would it be, evidence of what, that thing, man, you got to think. Um, I would say that it's really at a point as a society that we need to really stop, stop, sit down and think. Okay, um, because if we take the time to just think for a moment, okay, um, I mean, like really think, okay. Now, I know there's a lot of people that don't really think as much, but they really need to start thinking clearly, Stop, sit, think, and assess what is really happening here, like what's going on here. I will tell you what's going on. Okay. We're a pawn, okay, we're a pawn in the left hand is busy over here distracting you or us, while the left hand is busy trying to find a way to kind of dig up and destroy whatever is evidence of, whatever. That's what it is. The left hand is busy distracting us all, while the right hand, okay, is digging up and destroying whatever, And it is. We're all being distracted from one thing and another. We're being distracted by this thing or that thing or whatever it is. Because right now the Epstein files were up for a vote on release. Now let's see here. I want to go here. I'll go here. Because um, let's see here. Trying to find. Okay. Now. See, this is see here.
Now at 9 o'clock, taking a live look outside of the clouds in the sky. He's losing out. Time to check in with former First Lady, the perpetually miserable Michelle Obama. Here she again reflects on her time at the White House. It was so awful having that glad tea, making you look. Right now at 9 o'clock, taking a live look outside. A few clouds in the sky. Ahead of more wet weather tonight. It's Wednesday.
No, this is a
Democratic delegate Stacey Plaskett narrowly avoiding being censured by her House colleagues. This after revelations she texted with Jeffrey Epstein during a 2019 hearing where Michael Cohen was testifying. Democratic Congressman Jimmy Raskin returned her defense.
They want to arraign her on some charges based on a newspaper article that she did something lawful. However ill-advised it may have been, she took a phone call from one of her constituents. They want to give them another headline that they've arraigned a Democratic member for taking a phone call from her constituent, Jeffrey Epstein, in the middle of a hearing. And of course, I don't think there's any rule here against taking phone calls in a hearing.
House Oversight Committee Chair James Stewart joining us now. Congressman, your reaction to all this?
Jimmy Raskin spoke crap. He's the definition of congressional hypocrisy. Can you imagine if that were Donald Trump or me or some Republican that Raskin doesn't like that was texting with Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted sex offender who the Democrats have now become obsessed over because they hope and pray that he has something to do with Donald Trump. If we were texting him during a committee hearing, I mean, it's preposterous. Remember, Jamie Raskin appointed Stacey Plaskett to be on the impeachment, to be an impeachment manager of Donald Trump. And here we find out she was communicating with Jeffrey Epstein in a plot to take down Donald Trump. So for Jamie Raskin to try to defend that on the House floor in front of America is par for the course for Jamie Raskin, but it's the definition of hypocrisy.
And Mr. Chairman, you were part of that committee when all of this is going on. Delegate Plaskett yesterday defending herself, saying this.
Well, I heard recently from someone that I was taking advice from him. Let me tell you something. I don't need to get advice on how to question anybody from any individual. I have been a lawyer.
Wow. Now, I gotta say this real quick. If all right. No, she says she does not need to be taking advice of what, right?
The Democrats have
Been a lawyer for 30 years.
There she is defending herself, Congressman. Is that
If she was a lawyer for 30 years, okay, if she was a lawyer for 30 years, right, she should know better than to. You're a member of a committee, member of the Democratic Party, okay. You're talking to a known sex offender who was charged with trafficking minors in 2019, but later on was found dead in his cell. They're saying, "Oh, he killed himself." If you see the cell that he was in, okay, you could not even hang up a picture, Christmas lights. a hat, alone yourself. The guy was murdered. Okay. Jeffrey Epstein was murdered. Okay. No bullshit at all. No bullshit. Um, it's insane that you're a lawyer for 30 years, become a member of Congress or the Senate. Um, like what gives? Okay, what gives? Right? You have this thinking. I'm a Democratic black woman who's a lawyer for 30 years, taking a call or text from Jeffrey Epstein, who's a known pedophile, charged in 2019 for trafficking minors. Okay. Then all of a sudden, he was found dead in his cell. Now, you should be arrested. Like, whether you've been a lawyer or not for 30 years, you fucked up. You fucked up. Okay. Now, you have fucked up whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. Whether you took a call or a text from a known sex offender who's charged in 2019 for trafficking minors. Okay. That's stupid. You have, by doing that, you have hit the tripwire of stupidity. All right. You have hit the tripwire of stupidity. Um, so the thing is, you got to think. You got to really think about what you're doing before you. I mean, think before you do it, because the thing is, the issue is, you will be called out. You will be censored, right? Censored because you fucked up. You decide to take a text or phone call from a person who's a known offender, charged in 2019 for trafficking minors, right? Which is a crime. It is a crime, and he was found dead. He was found dead. You know, so you got to think. You know,
Country to you. I mean, again, can you imagine what you'd be saying if Donald Trump was communicating with Jeffrey Epstein, trying to answer a question from Stacey Plaskett? I mean, the hypocrisy is in full display here.
now,
Democrats.
now, if Donald Trump did that and it was found out and there's evidence, holy shit, a huge scandal. A huge scandal that would go worldwide. Worldwide. Not just nationwide, but worldwide. Because Donald Trump's well known throughout the world. Because he's a real estate mogul. Okay. And, like, dude, man. If Joe Biden did that, oh, it would get under the rug. Then his dumbass son would say, "My dad didn't do that. My dad was a good man." Yeah, he's fucking retarded, dude. You know, the guy's mind's so fucking gone, he could play a reboot for Looking at Bernie's reboot. I mean, people need to realize, you know, take it into consideration that, look, when you put on that three-piece suit and you tell lies to the American people, you're fucked.
So all the end over the last month, over release the files, release the files. I think one reason they were demanding to release the files is they didn't think that President Trump would release the files or that I would subpoena the estate files. What we know about Plaskett and Hakeem Jeffries came from my subpoena of the Epstein estate. And again, the Democrats were demanding that I would do that.
It is getting insane, man. You know, I mean, are all glad it's being released after past? I am in a way, because maybe the whole entire country would see that the people they voted for are either on their side or the side of the 13 families, the elites and shit, you know. But we all know that it's all one game. It's called let's distract the world. Let's distract the American people, because I know that we're all being bullshitted, you know. It's fact, it's obvious, you know. I think that I'm tired. I'm like just really tired. See, I don't watch TV. I don't watch TV. Okay, don't. Um, hold on here. Hold on. I don't watch TV. Um, I think TV is kind of a thing that people would love to watch and get that and be distracted by, you know. What I like to do is I like to listen to this. This is a Baofeng UV5R. Um, this antenna is not the original. Um, I got it over here. This is not the original battery. This battery is a um, this is the original battery. This is the smaller version battery. Um, this is the smaller version. This is the bigger version of the battery. And bigger battery, better charge, antenna. Uh, this is not the original antenna, but this is the add-on. This is the this is a longer radius. Um, and stuff. So this is the radio that you see on TikTok and shit like that. On TikTok and TikTok Shop or this is again. Okay, I'm back. I'm eating a burger. Help for dinner. Oh, nice, man. Nice, dude. Nice. Um, this is radio that you will see on TikTok, and they tell you uh, by end of 2025, this would be banned. And then they'll say, well, the government will not allow you to do this. And they show you how to factory unlock your radio. But or your government will not allow you to do this, but yet they show you how to do it anyway. I think by saying that it's kind of like the middle finger to whoever, whatever. But these here, a 6-pack or it's like $200. I bought this one for 25, $30 on eBay. And my neighbor helped me factory unlock his radio. You could get a pretty good 10, 15-mile radius, maybe even 30-mile radius with the thing, and like, wow, this thing is pretty good. I highly recommend you get one of these in case of a issue where your power goes out, your cell goes kaput. These come in very, very handy. Forest rangers use these. Um, People who work in construction or on the railroad, these come in good handy for all activities and jobs. Again, firefighters use them. Um, Forest rangers. Um, these are very handy. The guy that created this, this is from the guy that created this radio received a Nobel Peace Prize. Oh, where's it at here? I can find it here. I can see it somewhere. Yeah, the creator of this radio got a Nobel Peace Prize, and it's a two-way radio. A two-way radio. Germany banned these. Germany banned these radios because it's a two-way radio. Two-way. UHF, VHF, two-way radio, FM. Again, it's a two FM, UHF, VHF radio. It does not need any kind of cell network. Now, these come in handy. I got mine early this year. I could not leave home without this. And why? I'll tell you why. I like to listen to like the railroads or people up in the hills and shit like that. I can even listen to law enforcement with this, but cannot interfere. It's a good thing, Back on topic here. I would. So just in case, I'm not being paid by a bell thing. I'm not. I'm not. If I was, I would probably be in some deep shit. So let's leave it at that. Now we all know that we're in a time where a lot of politics, a lot of race issues, a lot of right now we're dealing with immigration nonsense. We're dealing with the Hamas, Palestine, Israel bullshit. We're all being with Russia and Ukraine bullshit. We're all being distracted by this stuff, you know. And what's the one thing that we're all being distracted from? You have war with Russia and Ukraine, Israel and Hamas / Palestine. And you got this immigration shit in Portland, California, the Carolinas, Chicago, New York, Seattle, and now we got the Epstein Files. We're all being distracted, okay? All being distracted. No bullshit, straight up. Yeah, we're all being distracted, and it's insane. It is fucking insane because why are we being distracted? Because they don't want us to know the truth. You know, simple enough. But I do want to say this, you know, it's not good. Never was. I mean, you know, it's insane. Like really, literally insane. You know. Really research, look into, understand. If you take information from a third party, you're not fully getting the information you're getting. What you know, go to the source, research, understand. Any third party information is only a snippet. That's it. No more, no less of that. Now, before I go, I want to say this. Anyone who's new to this channel, like, subscribe, comment below, hit the bell for notification. You can donate to this channel. If you look at the description of my PayPal and Cash App, the amount's up to you. $5, $10, $20. That's up to you. But you can donate to support this channel, and it's about getting new gear, new setup, expanding the channel to grow it. Says here, and it's about getting new gear, new setup, you know, to expand the channel, to grow it, and that's the goal: is to grow this channel. And so thank you guys for watching this video broadcast, and just research. It has been passed, so hopefully we'll see furthermore on what's going to happen with the Epstein Files. So it will be a nightmare for DC politicians, and it's a who's who of who's who. It's about fucking time. We'll see you all next time in this video. Peace out. Godspeed. Buddha bless. Thank you for watching.